Anyway. Hello, Internets! I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
And I can't get enough of Joe's mom.
And you're listening to Just Cool Enough because you're probably our parents. Let's be honest. And that's why you're listening to the show. Because this is the only way you'll ever know what we're doing with our lives, because we don't talk to you on the phone nearly enough.
I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, we need to hang out more. Like, I could leave at any moment. What if something happens? And she thought like I meant like I was gonna die or something. I'm like, no, there's like career opportunities and stuff. Don't just. I know, right? But like, so I said that like kind of nonchalant. I'm like, yeah, we should really make a point of hanging out more. And my mom like starts tearing up on the phone, and then my dad picks up the phone. He's like, "Why is your mom crying?"
What'd you do? What'd you do?
He's gonna drive over here to my house and beat my ass.
I've always hated you, Joe.
I've never been proud of you, and you suck as a son.
Yeah.
I purposely.
You're not even mine.
You're very adopted.
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
you can't be adopted because you look exactly like your brothers and your dad.
What if they all just adopted from the same surrogate parents? It's like like you get like a purebred dog or cat or something. You go back to the same breeder.
You're not adopted. You got that like one cousin, distant cousin who keeps getting teenage pregnant, and your mom has to raise the babies. So
you can only get teenage pregnant for so long.
I know, which is why it was awkward. That's why Mikey looks a little different, because her younger sisters got teenage pregnant. And, like you and Anthony were so close that she got teenage pregnant twice, and then like she had a sister who got teenage pregnant. So
wait, let me get this straight. One of my aunts got teenage pregnant, and then my mom adopted us.
Yeah,
but it would have to be two of my aunts, because in the time span between me being born and Mikey being born, I'm 11 years older than him.
No, that could still work, because 13, I mean, unless...
18, 19, 20, okay, yeah. It'd have to be close, got it right in there.
I mean, like, she got right in there, like, she had the baby on her 13th birthday, that's how that...
How Italian. This is like backwards, this is like Italy meets Alabama.
So
okay.
Just look for that young aunt you've got who had to go to like Fat Farm 3 times in a row for 9 months at a time. Fat Farm, is that a real thing? No, that's what they used to say. Like in Mad Men, Peggy Olson, they tell everyone she went to a fat farm, but really she just didn't know she was pregnant, and they had a baby and gave it to her sister. Well, spoiler alert, jeez. That's season 2, okay. What's the jurisdiction of a what am I trying to think of? You know what I'm talking about? That thing that happened. Statute of limitation for a spoiler. I don't know. Who gives a fuck? I mean, it's kind of iffy because like you've got like and they're mitigating circumstances like what was it? Stephen King spoiled something that happened this season in Game of Thrones. He was like, he said something, and people were like, I haven't seen the episode yet, spoilers. He's like, the book came out 16 years ago, assholes. So. But nobody, I don't think nearly as many people have read the books than have watched the TV show on HBO. Yeah, I don't know if there's never really a good, like, statute of limitations on spoilers. Like, it just kind of is. Like, I think eventually it gets like in the nomenclature. Like, Bruce Willis was a ghost the entire time. Rosebud was a play. Yeah.
Thanks for ruining that.
I Am Your Father.
Yeah.
Have you ever been spoiled? Was there ever a time
that hot Arabian chick from Crying Gang was actually a dude? Whoa, I didn't know about that. Why, Ike? It's like you're transporting yourself from different dimension to different dimension. What's going on in your house? He's like, my thought on spoilers is, oh god! I'm actually right behind you right now, Eric. What if this is like an intervention episode? All right, now it's time for me to get up. I recognize that brick wall.
It was because there was a dishwasher going on.
And he lagged out.
You
So,
want the extra noise?
have you ever been spoiled, though, Eric? Has anything bad happened to you?
I mean, if you'd ask my father, I lived my whole life spoiled. I'm a spoiled little brat. But no, I mean, probably, yeah, I'm sure I have. But it's a weird thing where they don't detract from your enjoyment. I don't think they're just kind of but there is something novel about seeing something for the first time and being experienced. Like I remember seeing. I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like for people our listeners' age watching The Sixth Sense now versus when I fucking watched it in early pre-internet days when nobody fucking knew anything about that movie. We rented it from Hollywood Video or Blockbuster or some shit and watched it. We're like, holy fuck, he was a ghost the entire time. If you watch that now, it's not the same for them, I think.
That wasn't pre-internet.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
It wasn't.
It's like it was so early internet. Like it was not like that. You couldn't get away with that shit these days. Like every other fucking M. Night Shyamalan movie since then, people immediately tell you exactly what happens at the end. But that was no one knew because it was kind of a smaller movie and the internet wasn't as huge. You'd have to somebody at work would have to fucking tell you about it.
They have to go out of your way to be spoiler guy. Have you ever spoiled?
Now you, yeah.
Are you with us?
I've intentionally spoiled movies. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can't hear me, right? All right.
Yes.
So I have intentionally.
And now we can't hear him anymore.
Well, that's because he's using Wi-Fi and he's outside and it's shitty. It's hard. If you're gonna do streaming video, it helps to have a hard line connection.
I know. I muted him just so his audio doesn't come through. Don't tell him I muted him though. When he comes back to the call, he'll just be talking. We'll see how long it takes for him to figure it out. That's mean. Yeah, I know. Why am I talking to myself? I'm not sure. Okay, so my brother spoiled Harry Potter for me. But
what?
Yeah, he said.
In what way?
He said Snape killed Dumbledore.
I guess, yeah. I was like, what? He's like, hey, fucking Harry's a wizard. Like this Harry guy's like, yo, wizard Harry, and I'm like, oh fuck, you ruined the. Yeah, but that was even. I remember that was the book when the book was coming out and people were fucking there was this great video of.
Yeah, that's what it was because I was reading through the books to pick up ladies like you do, and then he was like, oh, I already know what happens at the end of the book. Snape kills Dumbledore. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? I got so mad. And then if you read through it, you're like, oh, it's not even nearly as weird as what you thought it was, Snape kind of kills Dumbledore.
I mean, he doesn't kind of. He straight up murdered the fool.
But it was for the good. If it was for never. I'm not getting into a Harry Potter debate on this show. I swear. Are you still around? Or are you lagging like crazy? And he's lagging like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we just don't. Just another week without Ike.
Yeah. Maybe next week when he's on the surface of the moon, he'll have better.
No, it was muted. It was muted.
No, you were just frozen for a while.
So Ike, were you ever spoiled like crazy?
Yeah, at least I'll be closer to the satellites.
See, he's like 30 seconds.
30 seconds behind.
I don't know what it is. I think it's the internet that hates me. It's actually the show that hates me because you and I can do Fitness Pals just fine.
It's just this show. Maybe it's just Eric. Eric's hate is so strong that it corrupts your internet connection.
Maybe I just don't want somebody talking over me. Is that so wrong?
I don't know how you and I are the ones that end up doing it then, because we're always talking over each other. But yeah. It's the thing, the Thor with the watches, and then okay. That's anyway. Eric, you have a thing about current events and something about Thor, and I'm like, Thor, don't tell me about Thor.
Oh, well, you might want to know this because Thor's from here on out for the foreseeable future, starting in October, Thor in the Marvel Comics universe is going to be a lady.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Lady Thor?
No, not Lady Thor, not She-Thor, not Thorette. Thor. Thor is a woman.
Thorina?
It's not Thorina or anything like that. They said specifically they're not like creating a second Thor or that existed like She-Hulk or something like that. That this is going to be the continuing continuity of Thor is that Thor is now a woman.
How are they doing that? How are they going to make Thor a lady?
They give her boobs and a vagina, and she wears lipstick now.
Okay, but I just maybe I'm missing something here. Like in the lore, how do you just switch and you're like, all right, Thor's a lady? Like do comic books just reset and just say,
all the fucking time?
Yeah,
the original Thor was not a person. He was it was like in Thor in the modern comics is like Thor, God of Thunder from Asgard, which is a weird alien planet. But it used to be like Thor was there was a crippled man who had this magic staff that when he like summoned it, he would turn into Thor and the persona and stuff like that. Like that was the.
So they're just rebooting the series, like completely rebooting the series.
Yeah, they're starting in October. I forget. I think they're just calling Thor #1 comes out, and Thor's a lady now. And I think they already made Loki a lady at one point not too long ago. So it's interesting.
Is it just for the comic books, or are they going to be doing a movie series of it also?
No, they're not going to change the movie. I don't see that happening anytime soon. I mean, maybe in the future, in 10 years, when they're rebooting all the movies because they ran out of ideas, they'll do a Lady Thor movie, maybe. I don't know, but this is strictly for the comic. I don't know how it ties in because I'm not super into like the continuing continuity of Marvel at the moment and what's going on. Like, what if there's like a big overarching story? So I don't know. This might be just because there have been. I think this is just the standalone Thor comic is Thor's a lady, but I don't know if this affects like the Avengers comics or the continuity of those at all. But basically, they just from now on, the individual just Thor and doing Thor stuff is going to be Lady Thor.
Eric's using this as a segue. The reason why I've been having internet problems, Joe, is actually because I was in charge of doing the casting. We're actually going to cast Joe as a lady from now on. So I was in charge of trying to come up with who would play Joe on Just Cool Enough.
We've actually been having auditions. We've had some really nice. We're doing some callbacks. Mostly, I mean, a lot of it is just me and my sick casting couch fantasies, trying to relive those and being just shot down every time. Like nobody. It's like. Hey, you know what you gotta do to get this part? And it's like, I really don't want this part. Can I go now? I'm like, you don't have to do it to get this part. No, I wasn't gonna take the part regardless. And this just like doubled down on how much I don't want to do this podcast. I'm like,
you're gonna get a hairy lady with a mustache, like it's gonna. This would be an awful episode of Casting Couch.
We'll get that lady from Eurovision with the beard. She'll be a great addition.
The awkward part of it, and it's not a lady with a beard, but the awkward part of it, we didn't know how to break it to you, Joe, was that we were going to go with Sarah. We were going to have her join. But we didn't know if that would be awkward for you because you guys live together, but we felt she was the best kind of female Joe stand-in.
I don't know about that at all. She's kind of my complete opposite. So
yeah, that's why we kind of wanted her.
Oh, okay. You know what? As soon as that comment came out of my mouth, I was like, yeah, that's a low-hanging fruit. Just take it and run with it. Never mind. I'm an idiot. How can you just reboot a series like that, though?
They do it literally all the time.
All the time. They did it with Spider-Man. I didn't even know what happened.
Yeah,
Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like amazing. Blah 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 blah. Spider-Man. I'm like.
Not only that, Spider-Man a couple of years ago they turned Spider-Man into a half black, half Hispanic, gay Muslim.
Yeah, but I know that they're not turning a Thor it's not gonna be poof, it's a woman. From what I read, it was a woman that he saved who picks up his hammer and gains all his powers.
Oh, is that? I haven't read too much about
now
that.
At least that has some sort of continuity. Because if it was just like, hey, I'm Thor, I've existed for thousands of years, but now I sound like this.
I'm actually transgendered, and I finally feel comfortable enough to go through
Thor.
Well,
but that's LGBT
that's
closet for that's why he went to and fought to earn his dad's trust, and now he's like, Dad, actually, I feel much more comfortable being a lady.
No, I'm actually Thora. That's what my friends call me.
Thorina.
I haven't read, I'm just reading the press release on their site, and they haven't said too much about that and what that's gonna become. But it seemed like they were just gonna start a new comic series where Thor's always been a woman and stuff. But it does make sense that somebody else picks up the hammer, because that's happened before. And one of the things I loved is I read somebody tweeted that Marvel made Thor a frog and a horse before they made Thor a woman, because there is a horse frog, and a horse Thor and a frog Thor. There's it's Thorg is the frog that can wield Mjolnir. And Beta Ray Bill is a giant orange space horse that also can wield Mjolnir and has all Thor's powers. So, but from what I read, they're just starting a new series. They're gonna just call it Thor, and Thor's gonna be a lady. But I'll defer to you if it's because that is a
Not that
a
everything
thing.
on the internet is true, but I did some reading around that said that they believe the best way for them to go, or that they were planning on going, was Thor saves a woman at some point in one of the part of the series, and then she ends up picking up his hammer and gaining all his powers, and I guess it might have been after he dies or something, and so she becomes the new Thor.
That's possible too, because I don't know if Thor's dead in the current. I know he's been dead previously, before, so I don't know if he's dead now or what that is. But it is, because they made Loki a woman recently. So that's from the Lady Sif comics. I'm just looking at so it is possible, because that is Thor. Thor doesn't really have powers. It's his hammer that. Anyone who picks up his hammer who's worthy can wield it and has his powers, and so that's kind of thing. I mean,
who needs to wield this? You're always referencing obscure superheroes. I think some of the shittier superheroes just need to get an upgrade.
Well, because they're not.
Oh, fucking Thor's
worthy.
hammer, sweet! Like the Green Turtle picks up Thor's hammer. It's like, finally!
That's the thing. You're not.
Finally, Aquaman has superpowers that are worthy.
Yeah.
They can't because they're not worthy. See, you have to be worthy, which is why the only other superheroes besides the ones I mentioned that I think have done it is in an old DC Marvel crossover, Wonder Woman, I think, wielded Mjolnir, and also Superman. He had Captain America's shield and Thor's hammer. So.
What? That's like fucking Superman and a Megazord. Like, why do you even need that? That's so much overpowered overkill. Why does Superman need a shield and a hammer?
Yeah, he also taped a bunch of guns to his cape.
I know, right?
Now made of guns.
And he had grenade shoes that he would walk around with. Like, why? Why do you need that? You're fucking Superman.
His fists were also Batman's batarangs.
And he had Doc Ock stuff too.
Yeah.
So that's the ultimate.
That's what was holding the guns that were coming off his cape, were the Doc Ock hands.
Yeah.
All he needs is some sort of dinosaur power, and then he'd be really cool. Is there a dinosaur superhero?
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
And when he gets mad, he turns green.
Yeah. So he got gamma radiation, and now he's got the Hulk disease, like all the others. But it's interesting that. I'm kind of that Marvel is trying to focus on more female-centric heroes. I think they said this will be the eighth title featuring a female lead that's currently being published at the moment, which is great. It's nice that they are trying to focus more on putting women in this.
But I'm wondering if it's we can't have the gays in there, so we're gonna go with the women just to distract everyone. Because I know, or was it DC? One of the two of them started putting more.
They're both going towards that, but it's interesting, because Batwoman is gay in the current version of
yeah,
Batwoman.
I think that's how if you're gonna slowly bring men, because that's who read comic books primarily, into
not anymore.
Bullshit. Show me
No,
show me some stats.
It's equal now. It's like everything. It's like everything else. It's kind of like men
Bullshit.
probably.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. See, that's the problem. You're like only 12-year-old boys read No, fucking. It's like with video games. It's probably like 48% of women of comic book readers are women or some shit like that. It's a lot of women read comic books nowadays, which is it's great that they're adding a female superhero and they're adding a female superhero that's not she something like because most
She-Hulk or she
Spider-Woman, Batgirl, Batwoman, you know, just
40, okay, so this is just very quick Googling here. I see a post from comicbeat.com that says market research says 46.67% of comic fans are female, which is funny. I didn't even think that would be even that high. I was thinking maybe 20%, the maybe 80-20 rule.
no.
I think, you know what? I think all those girls are buying comic books for their comic book boyfriends.
But I want to know where the
because guys who read comic books have girlfriends. That's a thing that happens.
There's just this weird intersection that. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
Are they counting manga as comic books? Like I'm wondering because I know a lot of high school girls when I worked at a high school who bought like manga and they would read all that in the little books. But, you can try, like. But I was like nothing like superheroes. So I wonder where their distinction between
Just cool enough. A podcast where 3 old white dudes are like, women don't like comic books. They like My Little Pony and Barbies and shit.
Oh, only 33.3% of this podcast said that. I'm sorry.
They don't like any of that. They only want to. They like cooking and looking pretty and wearing dresses.
They love cleaning the bathroom.
Well,
They
I know.
thrive on it.
I know that one of my Facebook friends that I was watching, her father had a whole bunch of like issue 1 of a lot of the Marvel, I think, comic books that they finally dug out of their wherever they had them held up yesterday, and she started going through all of them from issue 1 on, and her dad was bragging about how he had all of these really really old comic books. Those are the ones that I think would be most interesting rather than all these revamps where they keep going, oops, we messed up.
Well, and also there's a lot more besides like switching genders of heroes and stuff again. There's a lot of really great female-centric comics out this day. There's Velvet, this great like it's like 80s spy thing with a female spy. There's Rocket Girl. I'm a big fan of Rat Queens. That series is just I think issue 7 just came out of that today. That's a great series. You should totally. That's my unplugged.
Rat Queens, like
it's this like Dungeons and Dragons-esque world. It's like this party of 4 female adventurers. There's a dwarf, a human, a weird like gnome creature thing, and it's like these female. It's really good. And even if you don't play Dungeons and Dragons, it's not like this is Dungeons and Dragons. They kind of like it's clearly from people who play Dungeons and Dragons did this, but it's like they live in a town full of adventurers and they go on adventures, they fight shit.
Now,
and stuff.
is this comic book kind of follow the WoW type gear where it's the less I wear, the more armor I have, so that it's a bit
no,
men, or are these like?
I mean the two casters, like the healer and the magical elf lady, have kind of aren't wearing the most clothes, but the female dwarf who's like the warrior, she's got fucking armor all over the place because she's like getting smashed up, and it's not like chainmail bikini, no, it's like really violent. Like at the first fight, I think they show the female dwarf gets like sliced open across the chest and shit. Like they get the shit kicked out of them, but they survive because fucking adventuring's dangerous.
Well, you just have to have
but still survivable. That's the lesson.
Well, they
That's
have magic.
the moral lesson here.
Like the elf gets picked up by an ogre and he like snaps her arm almost off, but the magic lady heals him because it's Dungeons and Dragons type shit.
I had no idea. Thank you for schooling me.
Yeah, Rat Queens is really good. You should check it out, and it's only in issue 7 right now, and apparently like it's already so popular they're going to turn it into a cartoon anyways.
Well, I mean, like, every superhero needs a movie. They need to turn it into a movie.
Or a Lego movie.
A Lego. Everything needs a Lego movie.
And then a Lego video game.
Yep.
Just like everything else. There's Lego video games for almost everything now.
Yeah, there's Hobbit, there's Avengers, there's not a DC. I mean, there is DC, but it's the Batman Lego. It's like Batman Lego 2 is just DC for some reason. They don't call it DC. They just call it Bat. And there's a new Batman Lego, which is just the DC one, but they're selling it as Batman. There's
it's
The
marketing.
Hobbit. There's Harry Potter. They're just all of them.
You got a good thing going. Why would you change the name? You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of good things going, I don't really have a good transition for this. So one of my friends, Kyle McCarley, said, "Did you hear about his thing on Nickelodeon?"
Yes.
I heard of it. I haven't seen it. Yeah, he's doing a voice in something or something.
I don't know. I got to figure out what show he's
The
on.
Wizard of Waverly Place or something, is it?
No, that show's not on anymore.
I know it's
That
the
show-
Wizards of something or Wizard something.
Yeah.
Kyle. Anyway, so he linked this article on Facebook, and I took it as if it were my own find. And he was talking about how, basically, a restaurant was like, "Why are we losing all this business? You know, like our ratings are the same, everything's the same as it's been since forever. We're good." And they keep getting bad reviews for slow service. And anyway, they hired a firm to investigate why this stuff was happening. So basically, here's the transcript that they linked over of their surveillance footage from 2004, and they compare that to surveillance footage of 2014, and kind of watched diners and saw the differences in the way people dined. And there's some really interesting kind of things that happened. Basically, I'll do a quick outline. 2004, customer walks in. 45 customers are seated, 3 customers asked to be seated somewhere else. In 2014, out of 45 customers who walked in, 18 people requested to be seated somewhere else. Now, from 2004 to 2014, what has changed and made people bitchier? Anything? Can you think of anything?
I read the article, so I know the spoiler.
There is no spoiler. Don't worry about it. Okay, so...
Don't spoil it!
What? Oh my God. Okay. Well, anyway, since Ike spoiled it and ruined everything, so
I've never spoiled anything before, so
you ruined my whole show, Ike. Anyway, they went on and did a couple more comparisons, like average wait time of customer to be seated was pretty much the same. Appetizers were brought out in the same, and every time you look towards 2014, you know, there's like, at one point, as when you get your food in 2004, people eat their food. But in 2014, people spend 3 minutes on average taking photos of their fucking food before they decide to eat it. And personally, I can't stand that kind of shit. It's totally changed. Like, I love the fact that I can have my phone and I can Yelp something and be like, oh, okay, here's a good place to eat in a town that I've never been to. But goddamn, like the phone just kind of taking over, and even people. There's you got to read the study, but do you guys ever take pictures of your food and post it?
I did once as a joke. I said when I first moved to Los Angeles, we got burritos from this nice burrito place by where we lived at the time, and then I posted on Twitter. I was like, it's against the law for me to eat a burrito in Los Angeles without posting a picture of it. But I haven't. Like, my sister does that. I see that all the time on fucking Facebook and shit. Just posts this picture of, and it's not even like restaurant food. She made a sandwich. Like, I mean, they're not. It's not like she put a slice of a cold cut in between some white bread or that. Like, usually it's something like she worked on, but it's still like fucking. I don't give a. I know that plate. Like, I use that plate, so it's. Why do you gotta post?
That's my favorite plate. But like even to the like the gall of some of these people, they spend 3 or 4 minutes taking pictures of their sandwich or whatever the fuck it is, and then there's a statistic here of people sending the food back to get refired because it's cold. Well, no shit, it's cold. You spent 3 valuable minutes or 4 valuable minutes of taking fucking pictures of the food. What the hell are you doing? And like the waiter and waitresses they're like, all right, you ready to take your order? In 2004, it was like, all right, yeah, we're ready. You know, after 8 minutes looking at the menu, I'm ready to go. But now, like, it could take like 30 minutes for people to figure out what the fuck they want because they're so engrossed in their phone. And man, I can't stand that. And I'm sure there's been times where I've been out to dinner and done these things, and I'm kind of looking, I'm like, oh man, I'm so totally way more self-aware after reading this article. But
Well, I've always kind of kept. I keep my phone, like, my sister's like that. Like, when we go out, like, we were at the Cheesecake Factory the other day, and she's, like, on her phone the entire time. I just leave my phone in my pocket, mostly because I know there's nothing on this fucking thing where, like, nobody's emailed me. And if they have, it can wait 30 minutes. I don't have a really important Facebook chat or some text. I mean, I get texts and Facebook and shit like that occasionally, but but it's not urgent as shit or anything. And so I don't care. I can have a conversation, but I also, like, that's just me personally. I don't begrudge. Yeah, fucking Joe, you have to text me right in the goddamn now. Sorry, I gotta stop the show.
Asshole. You totally fell for it.
No, because I saw it.
I never check my phone when I'm doing something important. My name's Eric. I'm all.
No, he never said that. He said at dinner he leaves.
I said at dinner.
In his pocket.
Yeah, this is
no
not
point
important.
did he say that he was.
I'm constantly looking at other things, trying to distract myself from having a conversation with you assholes. But
the way to do that is just to fake internet problems. It worked for me last week.
Yeah. But I've always had really good. No, but part of me, like, I don't want to be that guy, like, sitting around on his phone all the fucking time, sitting in but then, like, I saw this picture, like, I forget where I saw it, but it was like, it's like people on their phones aren't paying attention to the real world, and then it showed, like, a subway train from, like, the 50s or 60s, and it's everybody has a fucking newspaper. So it's not anything new. It's not like this is a new habit. Like, we were all really, like, present and always focused on each other and social until phones were invented. It's like, no, we don't like talking to people. We want people to leave us the fuck alone, and this is just easier to carry than a fucking newspaper.
Well, no, I think there has to be, like, I went to some parties, went out to eat and things like that with people that are maybe a generation below us, right? And they seem to be on their phone more than people that are a generation above us and our generation. And so I don't know what that really says about anything, but it was just kind of an observation. And I don't know if it's just confirmation bias on my part.
I think it's just ease of use and just
it's more socially acceptable because.
Well, no, kids. I mean, people, teenagers,
kids
whatnot. Kids these days, they grew up with these in their hand, with a fucking iPhone in their hand. Like, we didn't. I was 16 before I got my first cell phone. It was a big old giant bastard that could barely text. But I do see what you're saying. It's like, my mom turns her phone on once a day to check to see if she has messages. I was like, you can just leave it on. Like, you don't have to. Like, you would leave it muted. Like I don't understand. Like, even when I didn't, like, when I had a flip phone before I had a fucking smartphone, I still left it on all day. Like, it's like, I can't imagine turning my phone off when I've got, like, I mean, I'll turn it off. Like, when I was doing jury duty, I turned it off, and not just silent. Fucking turn it off for the hours I'm in there, because it's not like they're gonna let me check it anyways. I'll turn it back on when I get out of court. But, like, the idea, like, I'm just at home and I turn my phone off, like, that's crazy. Like, why would I do that?
My mom's the same way. She's like, I wanted a cell phone for convenience so that people could call me if they need me. But when I've tried to call her, it always goes to voice message because she tends to always have her phone turned off. I'm like, what's the point of having a cell phone if you're never gonna leave it on for people to be able to get hold of you?
See, my mom went the complete other way with this. She was like, oh, I don't need anything fancy. I could just iPhone all day. And now she's just, like, non-stop.
Like, part of her hand. Now she can't actually put it down.
Well, I know, right?
I get that.
She's, like, more reliable for me to text my mom than my dad, right? And it used to be the other way. Like, my dad had a nicer phone. I can get in contact with him all the time. But it's easier just for me to be like, oh, here you go, because my mom has some stupid ringtone that's like, boop, 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 I'm like, oh my god, why don't you just fucking hire a band to tell you when shit happens?
Mary
God,
Oxenden just comes walking
I
in.
know.
You have a message. No, and on the other hand, like my mom's got an iPad now because my sister had to buy a new one, and so she gave my mom her old one. And like my mom, like she sits at the computer sometimes and stuff like that, but she never really used her smartphone for smartphone purposes. It's just a phone for her. But she's always on her fucking iPad. Like I always just see her like scrolling. So it's just convenient, like the convenience of having this technology. So we just fucking use it all over the place because why the fuck not? Like what?
Do you guys know who the Fine Brothers are on YouTube?
Yes.
Joe, are you familiar with them? They do like
No.
elders react to, and then they put up some video.
Oh, yeah, those guys are great. Yeah.
Kids react to technology, and they gave them a rotary phone, and the kids are like,
I know.
I think I know how to use it. And like you turn it, and then they're like, well, what happens if you hear the busy signal? This signal was a busy signal. They're like, I don't know what that means. That they'll pick up in a second. I don't know. But the one that got me was like the kids were saying the same thing. They're like, it's so much easier just to click on the phone button and then click on another button. You can call rather than having to sit there and do the dial and then wait for the next number. And then they're like, well, how do you think you would text on one of these phones? And the kids are like, maybe like if you put like your finger on the A and then you pull the A because you need B, so you pull it twice. And like, no, you can't text. And they're like, but that means if you can't text your friends, how do you get in contact? Oh, you have to call them.
I actually, my favorite one of those was they had like an old Apple computer. They're like, computers, and they're like, well, what do you do on it? There's no internet. How are you supposed to computer? Like this only has one color. I'm like, shut up, kids! You don't know about computers.
No, I mean, I grew up with that shit, and even now, like when my internet's gone, I'm like, how am I supposed to computer now? Like, what? I can't. There's nothing I can do on this thing. It doesn't do anything. It might as well. Fuck this thing. Throw it out the window. It has no internet.
I know that. Oh, I feel the same way. Also, though, I mean, it's just the internet's been such an integral part of our lives.
I'll surf the internet. I check my Nope, can't do. I'll play video. Nope, can't put this again.
It's like it's almost like having power. Like I had a power outage a few weeks ago, and like I walked into my closet, I flipped on the light, I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell is this? There's no power? And then I'm like, okay, yeah, the power's out. And then I walked into the bathroom, tried to flip on the light. Well, what the fuck is going on? I think it's just like that. Like, could you imagine somebody from 18 or 17, whatever, that's like, well, you have light. That's fucking amazing. You have light at night? Reliably?
Mine's usually like, oh, the power's out, so I can't use my computer. Well, I'm going to go watch television.
Yeah. I'm going to go sit down.
Without
my
power.
God.
When
the power's out,
I do that same thing. I do that same thing when the internet's out, because like I'm on the computer. Oh, the internet's out. Well, I'll just use my iPad. Oh, the internet's out. I'll use my phone. Oh, the internet's out. I'll switch to 4G, I guess.
So no, so then this the tablet turns into the way we entertain ourselves, but it's like I ration it like it's like we're in an underground shelter and this is the last of the power I'll ever have. I'm like, Sarah, don't turn on Netflix. We only can watch it for 5 hours. We need to know exactly what we're gonna watch. We need to know exactly where it is, and we can only turn the volume up halfway for maximum.
That's why cars are so nice, because you can plug your USB port into your car and turn your car on, and then you're all set.
I have had to charge my phone. I put premium gas into my car, my 1978 car, right? I have my USB dongle. I go out to my car. The car on a good day might get 18 miles per gallon. So you know when it's sitting that it's not getting any miles per gallon. That thirsty car is just fuel right out the tailpipe. And I started up, and I got this huge, stupid 4,000 pound, this giant 4,000 pound machine charging this thing so I can watch Netflix. Oh my gosh! Like I made an excuse. I'm like, well, I better go to the store if the car's on. I better drive somewhere. Totally the wrong way to go about things. God damn it.
Priorities. Yeah, you has them in line.
I've made up reasons to go to the store. Sarah's like, we don't need anything. I'm like, we need ice for the fridge. What if the food goes bad? I gotta go. Gotta charge my phone up. Oh, please charge. Please charge.
My aunt up in New Hampshire has internet, but she doesn't have Wi-Fi in her house. So a few years ago, I went up there for a few days.
Like a barbarian.
I'm like, and my phone wasn't getting service out there, so I'm like getting the shakes because I don't have like internet. So I went up like 3 months later, and I actually unplugged and took my entire router with me, and then hooked it up to her computer just so I could have internet in her house.
I remember I did that for a BlizzCon once. Like we couldn't because wireless was like cost money, but like wired internet was free. So I brought a router with me so that we could just use it if we wanted to. I don't think we ended up using it, but I was like, they would just plug this into the thing and then blam, internets.
Take that, hotel or whoever was trying to control the internets.
Yeah. And now we can use internet on our phones. That was like a novel thing. I remember the first time somebody was like, "Oh yeah, you can plug your phone to your computer and use the internet." So it was like, "What?"
Oh, you could tether, and then the service providers were like, "Fuck you! You can't tether. Fuck! Get fucked! I hate you. Give us your money."
You can tether, but you get 35 megabytes a month of data for $200. So it's a deal.
I just upgraded my phone's data plan yesterday because I was paying $110 a month. Now instead I'm paying $107 a month for 1 extra gig, and I can tether my phone. So I'm like, if I can get a do-it-yourself iPad mount in my car, I could use that for my GPS.
I remember when I got my smartphone, for some reason my phone already had internet connected to it, like unlimited internet, and I was like, I've had a flip phone this entire time. They're like, yeah, but you got internet, so it's like, so I've been paying for, or my mom's probably been paying for unlimited internet on my flip phone for like 3 years, but whatever. I guess so I don't have to upgrade my account when I get a smartphone. It's like, nope. It's like, cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. You probably got grandfathered into a decent plan then.
Yeah.
I finally convinced her, well, out of necessity, my girlfriend finally got her first smartphone yesterday.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. What one was it?
She got a Galaxy X or S5 or whatever, the newest Galaxy out there.
Good phone. Good phone. I got the S4. I like it.
So she's like, like, I don't know. It's so weird though, because she's like, I mean, she can't use the internet until tomorrow because the way they set up the plan and all the, the prorated data plan and whatever. But she's like, I don't know if I'll ever need it because in the past she's been like, oh, what time's the movie playing, or what's the definition of this or that, and I'm like, well, you can look it up. She's like, I don't have data on my phone, and you have a data plan on your phone, so you can use your phone. But now I can finally be like, nope, you can use your own phone.
I mean, it's crazy how much you don't think you'll ever need it, but then you just out and you're like, oh, I could just do it. Like I remember I was at Six Flags with friends, and we wanted to go see this comedy show, and I was like, I looked at my phone, and I was like, hey, tickets are still on sale. You want to go do that? And they're like, yeah. So I fucking bought tickets over my phone, and then we could.
Dude, that's how the Book of Mormon thing happened. I didn't even go to my computer. I was just sitting on the couch, and I'm like, just casually like, oh, I wonder if there's tickets. Casually look it up. I'm like, holy shit! Bought them right on the tablet. It's just nuts.
I wonder
if.
Would you still have bought those tickets if you didn't have a phone or a tablet next to you? If you had to get up and then walk into the other room and sit down on the computer, do you think you would have?
Here's my omission, right? Like, okay, I looked up all the necessary information on the tablet, and then I went on a computer and then bought them on a computer because it's just easier to type in credit card information on Ticketmaster on a computer keyboard. But I'm really never more than like 4 feet away from a computer. I mean, my TV's a computer, my computer's a TV. I have a laptop and this and that and this, so I'm
generally, if I'm gonna buy, like, if I'm like sitting in bed and I'm like about to buy something from Amazon, I'll go to my computer and do it. But I can do it from my phone. Like the other day, and don't judge us. We were planning for our sketch show next week, and we were thinking, hey, you know what would be great? A GIMP mask. And then we looked up Amazon Prime and said, hey, there's a GIMP mask for like $5. We'd just order it, so we did.
GIMP mask?
By the way, God. I won't be here next week.
Just remembering. Interesting. All right, well, have fun with that next week at your S&M show.
Yeah. I won't be wearing it. Or will.
Or maybe.
No, I won't be wearing it during the show. Don't worry.
So wait, you're not going to be here next week?
No, because our show's at 6:30, but then we have tech at 4.
We can do it, Joe. As long as I sit in the same place I am right now, I shouldn't have any internet problems.
Yeah, switch your
Knock
mic
on
to the
big
nicer
wood.
mic.
To
So,
what?
I said switch your mic to the nicer mic next week then too. Okay, so but there was one more thing of this study that I was thinking like, okay, cell phones obviously were a determining factor in this fucking study, but the worst part, I think one of the other things that kind of perpetuate people being assholes at restaurants and like sending back their food or being more snooty or about what they want is all the popularity of like cooking shows.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like with the Gordon Ramsay effect, or Hell's Kitchen, and MasterChef, and Bobby Flay, and Food Network. Like that has just exploded since 2004.
People have more power than they've ever had. They think that they can cook this stuff even though they never will and never can. And they also have the power of Yelp. They can be like, "Oh, I'm the master now. I can decide all the things. They better give me what I like. I'm the captain now." So, you know, and then they have to spend 20 minutes Instagramming it and.
See,
like,
I have taken pictures of food before, but it's on a very rare occasion. Most of the time, it's after I've eaten most of it, and then I'll make some kind of abstract art out of it. Like I'll take a picture, and then I'll.
Are you kidding me?
So if you go through like my Facebook feed or my Instagram feed, some of that stuff you can actually see like bits and pieces of the silverware that are still in there that I didn't quite edit all the way out because I liked the way it looked. Or sometimes on a very even more rare occasion, if it's you go someplace really 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 fancy and they do a good job with the presentation, I'll take a picture if I enjoy the presentation at school. But if it's like, oh, I went and got this hamburger. No, like that stuff doesn't make sense to me.
I'm always peer pressured into it though, like because Sarah's has her phone, or my friends have their phone. We'll say Tish has his phone, and he takes pictures of every one of his meals, right? And any meal that's worth taking a picture of is just, oh my gosh, I get peer pressured into, oh here, take a picture with me. So I'm like using somebody else's phone. I'm like, this is stupid. This is stupid. All right, here, I framed it. I have better light here. Okay, click.
You just gotta get it like I'm gonna hold it like this, and then you got the flash.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna take a picture of food, there needs to be a person in it. Like, who gives a fuck about your shitty sandwich if you're not in it? I don't want to take a picture of random food.
You show me what menu at what restaurant has somebody who's eating the burger when you're trying to like order.
It's not a menu picture. It's a picture for your fucking Instagram.
No, and see, here's the thing about the Instagram and Twitter and all of this shit is that not only do we put everything, every aspect of our fucking lives out on the internet, it's just people like the people with the people for some reason we like to know these details. Like people like to see, even if like we're like that's fucking stupid. People like to see like all this shit. Oh, I went for a jog. Here's the picture of my fucking sneakers. Here's my dog. Here's the burrito I had. People fucking like they want to, especially with celebrities, they want to feel like they're a part of their lives. It's like this level of intimacy into somebody's life. It's a look into their life that you wouldn't have normally.
It's more of a tech version, but I mean, if you look at YouTube and you have Shay Carl and all them, who their only thing they ever do is film their life, or their day-to-day life, and everyone's become like really enamored with these YouTube stars that just all they do is film their life.
Because it's like it's this sort of like intimacy, voyeurism sort of celebrity thing. It's like I'm seeing this side of people I don't normally see. Like fucking Tom Cruise is in movies and he's like 50 feet tall on a screen, but you don't get to experience him. Whereas fucking whoever fucking Jenna Marbles, or I don't know anyone on fucking YouTube with that Ray guy, whatever his name is, Ray, what's his fuck, and that's
Ray William Johnson.
Yeah, I can fucking see his fucking tacos from Taco Bell that he ate and feel like I eat I feel like I'm close to him now because I've had tacos before or something.
I was eating a taco while I was looking at your pictures of tacos. It was like we were eating tacos together.
Yeah,
I went to a Taco Bell and put your picture across from it and then ate a taco.
Yeah.
But so like I only think it's worthwhile posting the stuff if it's interesting. Like, okay, you know what? Maybe I took a picture of some food while I was in Paris, but that's because I'm in fucking Paris and I live in the U.S. Like,
but what is interesting to you may or may not be interesting to somebody else. Although I do think there's an overinflated sense of people's everyone wants to know what I'm doing, so I'm going to post it all. I think there is that, but at the same time, it's hard to say what won't interest people because you'll still get people that like mundane crap.
there is a line that you can easily cross by putting too much information. But there is a thing where everyone kind of wants to know what I mean, the more of yourself you put out there, the more people feel connected to you, and the more they are likely to follow you. You just check Instagram, and you're like, oh, Jessica Nagiri posted a picture of her boobs. I like her boobs. I'm just checking.
Doing a podcast.
Yeah, people fucking eat that shit up. You can't just do it once as a joke. You have to constantly fucking do it. It's just something about fucking, I don't know what, look at this picture.
So,
I follow Lisa Foyles on Instagram. I like some of her videos. I don't know why I follow her, but she posts shit about her life mostly. It's not even video game stuff. It's mostly pictures of her doing stuff, and I'm like, it's not that interesting, but I feel connected to her now because now she's at the fucking DMG or some shit.
In the crowd, she would never be like, "Oh, that's that guy Eric."
No,
it's definitely a one-way street.
Definitely. It's just the thing. It's the same with podcasts. You listen to some comedian, you talk about his life or fucking. There's this great podcast about the mental illness happy hour where it's just fucking comedians talking about their shitty lives and how their dads beat the shit out of them or something, their wife committed suicide or whatever the fucking their mental problem is. But you listen to that and you're like, I feel connected to this person now because I know something about their life story that they put it out there. Then that's part of me now. I have that story with me. They transfer it, so now we are connected in some way. It's definitely one-way street. The only people who are connected through this podcast are the three of us because we're active participants. But the people who listen to it are I know these things about them now. I feel like I know them. I know them more than I knew them before I listened to this. So they have a connection with us.
I guess I can relate or see the point to that because the same thing I think with Twitter allows you to do too. Not only can you follow these people, but I've definitely Twittered back at Adam Savage and just been like, "Do you hang out with JD Heidemann outside the show?" And he laughed and just said, "No, that would never happen." And you're like, "Yeah, I feel like for a split second I was part of Adam Savage's life. He probably will never ever remember that, but you do have that sense of connection that lingers."
That's actually one of the reasons the people I follow on Twitter are mild stars, right? I'll follow people like Tom Merritt or no, I don't follow Felicia Day. I don't know. I have 141 followers. I should be able to remember more than 3. Yeah. But people people on the Smoking Tire. I follow a couple of Comedy Button guys, Garnet Lee. People that are within a certain.
They're obtainable celebrity, and you can have a connection with them on Twitter.
Maybe.
I can reply to something they say on Twitter, and maybe they'll like it. I can go to their Facebook page and leave a comment, and maybe they'll reply. It's a connect. You can have a conversation. I can't fucking say. I can say, "Hey, Tom Cruise, what's it like being in the movies?" And he's never, unless I'm at a press junket doing stuff, he'll never fucking reply to me. But on Twitter, I can fucking ask Max Scoville, "Hey, what kind of shit you put in your hair to make it all spiky?" And he'll be like, "This."
Yeah. Well, I like that too because there is a sense of connected feelings you get, and you feel like you know the person better. But I think there's totally a place you can overstep that. I don't want to know every detail. I just want to know every other detail, right? But it was actually interesting. That's how I got started doing the Shout Engine stuff. Chris Hayes was over talking about Shout Engine on his Twitter account, right? And all right, cool, yeah. What's Shout Engine? Yeah, sure, I could help out with that. And a year later, now it's fucking awesome. So that's great. So go check out Shout Engine if you're trying to start your own damn podcast in under 5 minutes. But it helps. I mean, it helps kind of bridge the gap. But what isn't the taking pictures of food just faux pas at this point? Isn't it just who gives a shit? Unless you're a food person, why? You're not contributing anything. It's a bunch of shit.
Yeah, but
it's mostly shit.
Yeah, but you feel a connection. I mean, we can all say "Oh, stop doing this," but people still, you kind of follow them. We've been talking about this a lot.
Maybe this week after the show, I'm gonna tweet way more things.
Yeah, just start start tweeting about more of your life, not being annoying, but just like actively like.
I don't know how to do that.
try-
I'm always
tweet-
annoying, Eric. How do
Yeah.
how do I be less annoying? Maybe I should try that first.
Pretend like you're me, and then tweet about my life. Start when you eat a nice burrito from some place, fucking Chipotle or whatever. Tweet it and shit like that, and see if you start to gain more followers.
I'm just gonna start a Twitter, or I'm gonna start a Tumblr that's just like good food pictures, and then just
pictures of
hijack
you.
pictures of
Picture of you and your cat or dog, fucking, and people are like, oh my god, he's got a dog? I like dogs, or whatever, you know.
I can relate to that. I have a dog, and then
He's got a hernia. I got a hernia. Like that kind of stuff. Is that the stuff we're sharing?
Exactly like that.
Exactly. Speaking of people feeling
This
a connection,
Does this rash look infected to you?
His rash looks infected. My rash looks infected. Hey, we have something in common. Let's tweet about it.
he's
My
living.
poop has blood in it.
He's living with herpes. I'm living with herpes. Speaking of people having a connection with us, nobody emailed us this week at the show at justcoolenough.com, which is our email address. But they did.
It's because you guys got rid of me, so I told them all never email.
Yeah, well, despite you, they still commented on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/justcoolenough, and we even got a question. It says, is from Shakim. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sure I'm not. He says, what would your dream holiday be? If that's too boring, what was your worst holiday you ever had? And if those two are still too boring, if you could combine two dinosaurs into one, which ones would you choose and why?
Well, these are so many great questions.
Yeah.
Why don't we do it one at a time, Eric? What was the first one?
Well, what would be your dream holiday? But I want to establish one quick rule so that I can do this right. Are we coming up with a fantasy holiday, or I'd love to go to the TARDIS. That would be fun. Or do we have to come up with something based in reality?
I don't know. I mean, do whatever.
Fair enough.
Be you. Just do you, Ike. Just do you. And except that you're a human with flaws, but you're also perfect.
Is this what your acting coach said, Eric?
No.
Are you getting ready for a role or something? Where did you even see this question? I don't even see where it came up on the Facebook page.
It was last week when you said, what do you want us to talk about at Just Cool Enough? And then they replied after you said that.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, listeners. Okay,
well,
anyway.
Most of them were joke. Like one of them was like, max speed?
Oh, yeah, that asshole. I think I called him an asshole, actually, and then he emailed in.
Yeah, you did. You said, you ask a question or something. So, dream vacation, go.
All right, nice, great idea. My dream vacation would be to... Wait, I mean, do we have to adhere to the laws of physics?
Fucking just say
We were
something.
just talking about that, and he said, just do you. Just do you, Joe.
Just do you. Well, I don't know how to do that. I'm so concerned about other people. I would love to do a trip around the world. Like, spend a whole year just seeing as many interesting places, tasting a bunch of delicious foods, and not getting sick. Because that's like a stipulation. Because if you get sick from eating all the crazy stuff, like this is like turtle nut sack, and it's like,
Now,
you know.
As your fantasy dream holiday guide, I can advise you to either rent like a boat or a yacht or something, go touring, or just go to fucking Epcot, because you can do that in a day. Just walk around. They got all the different countries.
This is like on Bedazzled when the devil grants you your wish or something. Yeah. Like, all right, your wish granted. Go to Epcot Center in Disney World.
Orlando, Florida. That's where you want to be.
All right. I can't wait to go to Orlando. All right, of course, here.
I think, well, since I'm just doing me, I would say just pretty much anywhere in the TARDIS, anywhere in time and place. I'll just go. Like, push a button, I'll go there.
That's not fair. You gotta pick a place. I said the whole world. You can't pick a whole world plus galaxy.
All of time and space. That would be the place I would go.
All right. Let's limit it a little bit.
And I would be back only 1 minute later. So as far as anyone knew, I was gone.
What destination? If you can go to destination right now, where would you go?
Oh, now you're
all expenses paid. You get to spend 2 weeks there. Where would you go?
I I would, all expenses paid, I would pay to have Eric, or you and I to fly out and hang out with Eric. And I would say to you, but there's nothing interesting in Michigan. So we all go.
That's not true. You've never been here.
There's a reason for that.
I've been there. There's nothing interesting there.
So
I can show you a better time now. We're older and better.
No.
No, we go to Eric. We go to Eric.
Yeah. Well, so that would be your dream vacation?
Yeah.
I think that ranks pretty high. If I could spend 2 weeks just in sunny California with Eric, I don't want like all expenses paid. I want to live at his house.
With Eric. I said with you two. You just said with Eric. I see how it is.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I want to live at his house.
I did it. I was doing like a whole big thing, like we were all gonna hang out, but you're like, no,
just you and Eric.
I would love it if Mike wasn't there. Okay, I'll tell you mine.
That would be perfect.
I'll tell you mine. I would love to spend some time in the International fucking Space Station. Just like being up in space in the International Space Station. I mean, I think like I don't think I would want to do like one of those 6-month tours like those guys do, but being up in there, that'd be fucking amazing.
You're gonna spend 2 weeks in the International Space Station, but you're not like astronaut trained or anything. No. And then when you come back, all your muscles are gonna be all fucked up. You're not gonna
2 weeks. See, right? 2 weeks is plenty. Like 2 weeks, you don't have atrophy. Like it's like you have to be up there like a year or something like that before that's like a real problem.
In my fantasy, you spend 2 weeks in the International Space Station, and then like you come back and you have awful muscle, terrible atrophy.
Still worth it. Still absolutely worth it.
They actually send Eric back after 3 days because he wouldn't have trained how to use the toilet, and there'd just be shit floating around all over the station.
No, like, their toilets. I've watched the videos. Their toilets are just giant vacuums that you shit into.
Yeah, I'm supposed to stick my what in where? Eric, stop masturbating with the International Space Station toilet. It's for piss only.
There's not that much such. They don't need it. They don't need it. But yeah, I would fucking love that. I mean, it's kind of cramped and tiny, but you'd be in fucking space
if you were out there.
No, I wouldn't have time. I'd just be hanging out in that one, like they've got that one area that's like just this. They built this giant like observatory where you can just fucking see the Earth, and it's got like no scientific purpose. It's just like look at the fucking Earth, and I just like be there all day, like and I'd be in fucking space, and that would be amazing. That's where I would love to go.
And now we have, if that wasn't a good question, the next one would be. What was your worst vacation you've ever been on?
I don't think I've really had like a bad vacation. The family vacations have always been kind of all right to good, but those kind of stopped when I was younger. So maybe if I were older, like by the time I was a teenager, we stopped doing that. So I didn't go through that awkward like, oh, I don't want to be here phase. But you know, it was for the most part, my vacations have always been pretty fun. We went to some really awesome locations, and you know, they're fun.
Mine would be sleeping on the floor next to Joe at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Why? I only farted on you 3 times.
And snored a little at night if I didn't put headphones in.
That's not true. I don't snore.
Then it's just your ass continually running.
It's just my ass. I do breathe through my ass, though. I don't snore, but I do breathe through my asshole. That's how it would sound if I was sleeping next to like Ed. I haven't had a bad vacation. Like, does that happen? I mean, I'm sure. The worst case scenario is like. The plane goes down or something. Like, that would be a shitty vacation, but I usually try to make the best of everything.
I'm kind of like a very easygoing guy. Like, I mean, I have the only thing I can think of is when I think it was just after 8th grade, we went on a family
just
cruise.
Snake school.
I wasn't. Yeah. I did fall into a pit of snakes once on vacation, but that was okay. No, I think it was like between 8th and 9th grade we went on a cruise, and we had to fly to Florida, and you had to take 2 flights to get there. And because like something got screwed up, so our tickets like didn't go through right, so they on the first leg of it they said fuck it and they put us in first class, which was fucking great, a great way to start. But then when we got to Texas, they were like, it says here you didn't show up. So like we had to like every time we had to take a flight, and we had to take a couple of flights throughout the vacation. They kept saying like, it says on a record you never showed up to any of your flights, so we don't know. Like, so it was kind of like
that happens all the time. I'm actually a ghost family.
It took like 30 minutes to an hour of like dealing with shit. But I was a kid, so I didn't have to deal with it, and we got where we were going. We never missed a flight and like had to cancel a vacation. So it's not like it was, I was too young to really give a shit.
I think the worst travel thing that happened was when my eardrum exploded on a flight when I was going to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and like I'm sitting there and this guy's just droning on talking to me. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm like, do you hear all that noise? And I'm like yelling because I just thought like the engine was getting loud or something because it was like a gradual thing. My eardrum almost exploded, so I really wanted to go swimming, but I couldn't. I had to go to the doctors and put in. This was on a work trip too, so I had to put in a I got hurt on the job. We do manufacturing.
Workers' comp, kind of.
Not workers' comp, but I had to go in and say like, hey, I got hurt traveling, and so like the guy had to go in and like, all right, we had an injury this week. We've been 999 days without an injury, and then Joe Cariotti hurt his ear on a plane. I'm like, oh man, so that kind of sucked. And then the other time, actually, every time I go to Harrisburg, other time I was in Harrisburg was I went to go leave on a flight. I just got done staying at the Sheraton. It was really nice. Everything was taken care of. The pillows were oh so fluffy. And I went to the airport, got all ready to go, and they're like, last flight out, and you're not on it, mister, because the flight before was delayed, and you're delayed the whole next day, and your next flight is at 5 a.m. I'm like, well, god damn it! I'm checked out of my hotel and everything. I had to go back. They're like, sorry, we don't have any rooms, and Delta will only pay for you at the Holiday Inn. And they didn't even pay for all my shit! Fuck you, Delta! They paid for half of my shitty Holiday Inn. Fucking bed bugs. I had to sleep on the pool level, fucking chlorine smell, and then I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning and then go to this shitty airport. Finally got to go home.
Yeah, I've never had like you can't, like, the flight got delayed and you have to sleep here. Like that happened to my mom when she had to like sleep in an airport. But like the only time, like once, the last time I flew, when I flew back from here in Los Angeles to Sacramento before we moved out here, they were like, your flight's delayed or it's canceled, but we put you on the one that's an hour later. And I'm like, great. So like, I've never really had any problems. I've been incredibly lucky because airports are horrible.
Mine really wasn't Joe Snorri. Mine was only the beginning of the Sicily trip that I took in 2010, where it was like we were late getting to the airport where they had to hold the plane for me. The teacher was nice enough. And I know I've talked about this before, but it's like I got there and they're like, yeah, your luggage never made it. I'm like, that's okay. I'm like, day one, made it to Sicily. This is awesome. Didn't get my luggage, but it should be here soon. Day two, still don't have my luggage, but that's okay. We had a blast today. It's really hot out here. Day three, I haven't taken a shower yet in the last couple of days because I haven't had clean clothes to wear, but I'm pretty sure they said it should be here in a few days. Day four, I'm going to take a shower in my clothes. I can smell myself, which makes me only wonder what other people think about me. Like, progressively I get more depressed, and then I'm going like, yeah, my luggage arrived in like day 5 or 6. I'm like, this is awesome. I can actually change my clothes. I don't have to wash my shirt in the bidet in the bathroom.
You had a bad trip. Well,
we have to wash your stuff in a bidet.
Yeah. You hit a new low. What were you sitting there with your clothes? You're like, I'm so smelly. I have to wash myself in this shit butt toilet.
I'm just going to like go in the shower with my clothes, and I'm like using like body soap to like rub my shirt down. I'm like, this is not working the way I want it to. So I was like, I'll wash it in the bidet.
Why did the bidet make more sense than just putting it in the shower?
I don't know. Because I figured it was easier because it was more concentrated water than having to hold it to the shower.
You washed your clothes in a bidet!
Yep.
Oh god. Oh god. It is all lost. All is lost.
Well, it was a step up in either way from smelling like I did, right?
What if it just put more ass smell on your shirt because it's a bidet?
They cleaned it. It was a university I was staying at. They cleaned all that stuff before, new students come in. I was fairly confident it was clean.
And I was just gonna say like it was a bad trip because the person I was traveling with got on the flight because they were like a Delta Gold member and I was just a peasant. They're like, you're a Delta peasant. You get the shaft.
I think I can upstage Ike. One time I was on a flight and I opened my bag of chips and there were no chips inside of it and it ruined everything. So I think that kind of...
And there was Ike's. It was actually. I opened up the bag and Ike's shirt was in it with poop stains on it.
Yeah. This one time I was visiting Italy and this smelly guy was just hanging around.
The sad and I'd gone to a Nine Inch Nails concert the day before we left and bought one of the concert shirts for like $30. So that's what I happened to be wearing that day. So I wore that for like 6 days, and I finally washed in the bidet. And then was like, I never have worn that shirt since because it brings back like these horrid memories of A, washing my clothes in the bidet, and B, having to wear the same shirt for like a week in very hot Sicilian weather.
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even take into account the climate. The whole fucking place is like Florida. It's all sweaty and hot.
And I was like, we're going up hills because it's really like the inclines to get to the school route are like this. And so it's hot, sweaty, and a lot of work. And I'm just like, and I'm slightly overweight too. So I'm like kind of fat and sweaty and smelly. I'm like, oh yeah.
When I was in Italy, I watched a girl take a spill on a Vespa and her boob popped out, and she skinned her boob and like the side of her body, and I like ran up to help, and then I realized I don't speak any Italian. I'm just like, mi dispiace, signore, and
so
she's
pull down a shirt, push the boob back in, or you're just like, this goes
just like
that. There you go.
But on that same day, when I was in Rome or Assisi or something, I like leaned up against something and I got a bunch of throw up on the front of my shirt. It was like a baby throw up all over the front of my shirt. So I didn't. Luckily, my luggage was there, so it wasn't nearly as bad as your story.
You two have both been to Italy, so can you confirm? Like somebody told me this, and I don't know if it's true, but somebody told me that in Italy, like, dudes just jerk off in the street. Like, not just, like, homeless dudes, but it's just, like, commonplace for just some random, like, middle-aged dude to be jerking off and be like, Buongiorno! Leaning against
no! Buongiorno! Just stroking it. No, it's actually illegal in, I think it's Rome, but it might not be all Italy, for a man to adjust his crotch. Like if your balls are out of place and you just gotta whack them back into...
So you go to the bathroom.
Right?
God,
no, you gotta do it.
I'd be like the Charles Manson of Rome then, because I'm constantly like, just like, stretch to the left maybe, no, to the right, a little up, no, too high.
It's because you're wearing Batman underwear for 6-year-olds, Eric. You gotta change them into box.
Hey, underoos. Speaking of Batman underoos, it's time to stop talking about all this horse shit and start plugging each other.
Hooray!
My plug for this week, if you happen to be in the Los Angeles area, why don't you come see my sketch team's half-hour sketch show at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in Los Angeles. It's called Hate Mail, The 7 Deadly Sins. It's at 6:30 on July 23rd. It's $5. We're paired with another half-hour show that's going to be really awesome, and I think you guys would really enjoy it. We've been working super fucking hard on it, and it's really coming together. It's got a lot of really awesome bits into it. I think it's gonna be a hell of a thing, and I'm really proud of the work we've done. So if you happen to be in the Los Angeles area, come out and visit.
Come on down.
I'm mostly just saying I'm saying this mostly just because Dylan, one of our listeners, he lives in the area. I'm like, fucking Dylan, come see the show, goddammit.
Dylan, come see Eric, and then tell me about it so I can actually know if it's good or not. I just smile and hit like, and I don't know if any of his stuff's good. So tell me, Dylan. My plug for this week is a serious plug. This is a post on Shout Engine made by Chris Hayes about how Sprint can record you on the phone, but you're not allowed to record their customer service. Just really awful customer service shit going down in typical telco fashion. So if you just listen to this, it's kind of interesting. And I'm just trying to rattle some cages here. I'm so sick of getting fucked over. Fuck the man. Fuck the police. Let's do this. Let's fight the power. I don't know. Listen to the thing. It's kind of interesting. And then the link is on justcoolenough.com. Ike, what do you got?
So I'd like to plug. I need a new computer, not the one I'm on. I'm on a laptop. But if you have any money that you'd like to donate to help me get a new computer, or if you want to go on Newegg.com and like build out a computer that you think would be a decent computer for a gaming rig for like preferably less than $1,000, you can do that and send it to me. I mean,
I
preferably
can send you
less than
something right now.
$600.
I have a current build that's about $500. It'll be perfect.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, send it my way. Also, my actual other plug is, and I really enjoyed this album, check out if you haven't already, Weird Al's Mandatory Fun. They've been putting out a new music video every day for 8 days starting on Monday when they released, or Tuesday when they released it. So check out the album because it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it is. So,
I think
anyways,
it's quite nerdy.
yeah,
Is it really?
It's got a lot of really awesome tracks on it. I think it's good. He's always doing it. He's always doing it. He's still doing it. Weird Al's the best.
Is it better than Running with Scissors?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think his last two albums, Apocalypse and White and Nerdy, were okay, but this one definitely tops both of them. In my opinion.
All right.
It's good stuff.
IMO.
Anyways, that's our show for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow me and all my exploits and every painstaking detail about my life by following me on Twitter at Duncor, D-U-N-C-O-R. It's right here if you're watching the video.
You could follow me on Twitter at Speedia40, SPEEDYF40. I'm going to be tweeting more this week for fun to see what happens. Because I've been on Twitter since like 2007, and I only have 5,000 tweets, so that's a pretty shitty record. I'm going to step up my Twitter game. Like,
let's see. You can follow me on Twitter at Railvis, but I never really post tweets. But I will respond to tweets if they're sent my direction. I'm more of an Instagram guy. You can follow me on Instagram at Ike_Dodge.
Yep, and you can also follow me on Instagram at mostly shit. It's spelled exactly like you think it is. Or you can Snapchat me at just cool enough. Getting some listeners adding me on Snapchat. That's great. I think I got a new one ready to add me. Yep, already another one ready to add me. So more listeners add me on Snapchat.
Have you got any dick pics yet?
No dick pics. But anyways,
all right.
That's been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. I think my tacos are ready, so I need to Instagram those and then eat them. Not really. But until next week, have a wonderful weekend. Come out and see my show if you can. If you can't, we'll probably videotape it or something to watch it later. But until next week, have a fantastic rest of your week, and fuck off.
I went to go try to stop you, and then I got a bunch of phlegm in my throat. Like,
but seriously, why hasn't Amazon shipped my Dungeons and Dragons starter kit? It came out yesterday, and it said preparing to ship all yesterday, and today it just says shipping now, but it still hasn't fucking shipped it.
Is that the 5.0?
Yeah, it's the 5.0 starter kit.
Boring. Not really. I haven't learned how to play it, so I hate it.
I already got a Snapchat.
Today was a good JCE show with Eric and...
I got a Snapchat. I got a Snapchat. It's just a frowny face. You can see that.
Today was a good show. I'm trying to tweet. Today was a good JCE show.
I seriously.
With Eric, and Ike was there too.
Ike was there sometimes. Okay, I gotta go eat tacos. So see you guys.
Bye.
Bye. So I don't have Skype on this computer as of this moment. What? Do you want to do Fitness Pal, put it off for next week, and I can try to put Skype on there for next week? What would you like to do? Or I can Skype from my iPad.
No, I don't want to. I mean, is the quality there?
I don't know because I've never seen the other end.
We could try it with the iPad. I don't know. I don't really have anything groundbreaking. I mean, I lost a few
I don't
pounds.
either. Nice.
Okay,
I
we'll
saw
put it
that
off
on
for next week.
And being down here in North Carolina, I haven't gone to the gym, but I've been going out running or walking with my dad. We've been doing at least a 5K equivalent.
Really? Just
walk.
like kind of a fast walk, or just walking?
Yeah, we've been doing 3 miles or 3.1 miles in a little under 50 minutes.
Is your Fitbit not updating? Because your steps are low.
At 48? No.
Oh, okay. No, that's higher than it was. It just looked like they were.
Well, the other thing, again, remember that every other day I don't do much walking because I'm not teaching.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, man, what's Ike doing? I thought you just didn't have a connection or something while you were out on your place.
No, the one thing which I'll share with you, it would be the one thing I would want to do a show about, but again, it's not that important to do a whole show on, was I've been trying to use the GPS part of the Fitbit app that they recently put in. Like, you can have it where it will map out where you run. It'll also keep track of every mile and how fast average speed is and all that jazz while you're actually doing it. But the weird thing is, like, we went out and did the 53 minutes. We did 3 miles on Monday night.
Hold on, I'm getting a shot of. I want to make this as meta as possible.
Yeah,
you keep talking.
So the thing I realized with the app is that it won't give you credit for the active minutes, even though it's recording what activity you're doing. So I did 53 minutes of, like, walking intense, but when it saved, it wouldn't show up under the active minutes part for the day. It would say I only did 3 minutes instead of 53 minutes. So I had to, like, delete it and then put it into Fitness Pal for it to show up.
I haven't even cared enough to do that, like the active minutes thing. I think like I have 10 active minutes. I don't even know how the fuck that happens.
Sometimes when you're running or you're walking quickly, it will automatically do it.
Yeah, I don't put that in.
I tried today, and I think I would have. I was trying to use that, like I said, the app to track. So I went out literally 1 mile away from my parents' house, and I tried running back and timing how long it would take me to do the mile. But my hand hit the screen during the run and paused the tracker. And when I turned it back on again, sucks. I had cut out like a third of my run had been recorded.
But you can edit that, though. You went to the Fitbit site and you can put that in?
Well, I was trying to see how fast I could do a mile in. So I was using the tracker to tell me in my ear, you've reached 1 mile. So, and then record how fast I was running. So what I should have done, I should have looked at my wristwatch too as a backup, which I'll do next time, and tried to correlate that. But in 8 minutes, I did 0.72 miles, 0.7 of a mile. So I'm pretty sure it would have taken me 10 minutes-ish to do a whole mile again. But it's so bloody hot down here, too. Like, the humidity is like through the roof in North Carolina. So that's the other thing that's affecting my run.
It's so tough to run in humidity. It's like we're still live, by the way. So it's like we're doing a live. Yeah, somebody actually just tweeted me. It was like, oh yeah, you're live. I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm sorry. I know, we're live.
You're listening to Your Fitness Pals micro edition at the end of Just Cool Enough.
Yeah, it's the after show.
This is what it would be like if you tune in to Your Fitness Pals.
It kind of would. Yeah, if anybody would listen to Your Fitness Pals on Just Cool Enough, this is what it would sound like.
Yeah.
This is the raw stuff, because right here we could swear. Fuck, oh God. Yeah, our guest, what was it? TryGeek?
Yep, Mark?
Yeah, TryGeek Mark. He sent a message to me, and he was like, oh, I listened to the show with my kids. We really enjoyed it. I'm like, oh, fuck. I hope I edited out all the fucks if there were any, because I didn't bleep anything out. I'm like, I don't want to poison his kids' ears or anything. But
that's the first thing that went through my mind, because I was like, I'm like, Joe sometimes edits that, and I'm like, I don't remember swearing.
No, we didn't. We were pretty good. There was one time where I was like, yeah, and I did a bad job on it. I fund it all up for everyone. Oh man.
So
Well,
we'll do the show next week. Just cool enough, right?
yeah,
You and me.
that sounds good. I think though by next week I might be like 8 to 10 pounds less. So you better step it up, dude.
8 to 10 pounds less. You're gonna plan on losing 8 to 10 pounds within the
I'm
next.
just gonna lop off the mantis.
cut off.
No, I got a report back from my fitness guy. They're saying that I'm on track. Things are going good as far as my fitness health stuff is concerned.
That's the other thing is the scale is down or up in Massachusetts, so I haven't been weighing myself. I usually weigh myself every day, even though that's not always healthy either. But just because I can't.
It's like looking at your stock portfolio. Do you check your 401k every day, Ike?
Well, it's only depressing. Like I got to 142, and it was like 142, 141.5, 142, 142.2, and like for a while it was right around 142. So I'm hoping maybe if I don't look and I go back, it'll be under 140.
I hope it's not. I hope it's 250.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna send you a bunch of chocolates and stuff.
Actually, I would really like that. That would be really nice.
Some Oreos.
Not Oreos though. Those I can't stop liking those.
Double stuffed Oreos, I think.
Oh yeah, the mega stuffed. Oh, they're so good. Oh, I'll stick them in my mouth. All right, dude, I'm out of here.
Are you drawing on me? All right.
I was. I didn't mean to though.
Sure. All right. I will see you next Wednesday.
Talk to you later, dude.
Bye.
Bye. That's great.